Hey there, you looking kinda cute. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my other socials for more. Enjoy. Madge stood at the counter, carefully arranging a plate of freshly baked cookies. Her hands, worn from years of nurturing and care, moved with practiced ease. The aroma of vanilla and chocolate filled the air, a comforting scent that had always signaled home and safety to her foster children over the years. She glanced at the clock, knowing Timmy would be home soon. Her heart swelled with a mixture of pride and protective love, thinking of the journey they had embarked on together. At 22, Timmy was no longer the shy, withdrawn child who had first come to their home. He was blossoming, finding his true self, and Madge was determined to be there every step of the way. The sound of a car door slamming outside broke her reverie. Madge smoothed her apron, adorned with cheerful sunflowers, and took a deep breath. She knew today's conversation wouldn't be easy, but it was necessary. The front door opened, and Timmy's voice called out, "I'm home!" "In the kitchen, dear," Madge replied, her voice warm and welcoming as always. Timmy appeared in the doorway, his lanky frame filling the space. He wore an oversized sweater in a soft shade of lavender, his favorite color these days. His hair, once close-cropped, now fell in gentle waves around his face. The changes were subtle, but to Madge, they spoke volumes about the person Timmy was becoming. "Oh, you made cookies," Timmy said, his face lighting up. He moved to the counter, reaching for one, then hesitated. "Are these the low-sugar ones?" Madge nodded, smiling. "Of course. I know you're watching your intake with the new regimen." Timmy took a cookie, biting into it with obvious pleasure. "Thanks, Mom. You always remember." The word Mom still sent a thrill through Madge. She had been Madge for so long, even after the adoption was finalized. It was only recently, as Timmy had begun to explore his identity, that he had started calling her Mom. "Why don't we sit down?" Madge suggested, gesturing to the kitchen table. "There's something I'd like to discuss with you." A flicker of concern passed over Timmy's face, but he nodded, taking a seat. Madge joined him, placing the plate of cookies between them. "Is everything okay?" Timmy asked, his voice tinged with worry. Madge reached out, covering Timmy's hand with her own. "Everything's fine, dear, but there are some changes coming, and I wanted to talk to you about them." She took a deep breath, choosing her words carefully. "You know that Ruth and I have been having some disagreements lately." Timmy's shoulders tensed. "Is it because of me? Because of the changes?" Madge squeezed his hand reassuringly. "Timmy, listen to me. You are not responsible for anyone else's feelings or reactions. Ruth, she's having a hard time understanding, and that's her journey to make, not yours." "But she's my mom, too," Timmy said, his voice small. "Yes, she is," Madge agreed, "and she loves you. But sometimes, even when we love someone, we can't always give them what they need. Ruth has decided that she needs some time and space to process everything." Timmy's eyes welled with tears. "She doesn't want me anymore?" Madge's heart broke at the pain in his voice. "Oh, sweetheart, no, that's not it at all. Ruth is struggling, but that doesn't mean she doesn't love you. She just needs time to understand." She took another deep breath. "What this means, practically, is that you'll be moving in with me full-time. I've offered to take on full responsibility for supporting you through this transition." Timmy looked up, his eyes wide. "You mean you still want me, even with everything changing?" Madge felt tears prick her own eyes. "Of course I do, sweetheart. I love you exactly as you are and exactly as you're becoming. Nothing could ever change that." A sob escaped Timmy's throat, and he launched himself into Madge's arms. She held him close, rubbing soothing circles on his back as he cried. It's okay, she murmured. "I've got you. We're going to get through this together." As Timmy's sobs subsided, he pulled back, wiping his eyes. "So, what happens now?" Madge smiled gently. "Well, that's up to you, dear. We can continue with the hormone therapy if that's what you want. And if you'd like to start living as Tiffany full-time, We can make that happen too." Timmy's eyes lit up at the mention of the name. "Tiffany," he repeated softly. "I like how that sounds." "It suits you," Madge said warmly. "Is that what you'd like? To be Tiffany?" Timmy nodded, a shy smile spreading across his face. I think I would. But what about school and work and everything?" "We'll take it one step at a time," Madge assured him. "We can start by telling the people closest to you, then work our way out from there. As for school and work, there are laws to protect you. And I'll be right there with you every step of the way." Timmy, or rather Tiffany, looked at Madge with gratitude shining in her eyes. "I don't know what I'd do without you, Mom." Madge felt her heart swell with love. "You'll never have to find out, sweetheart. Now, why don't we celebrate this new chapter? What do you say we go shopping for some new clothes for Tiffany?" Tiffany's face lit up with excitement. "Really? Now?" Madge laughed, getting to her feet. "No time like the present. Go get ready and we'll make an afternoon of it." As Tiffany hurried off to change, Madge took a moment to collect herself. She knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy, but she was ready for it. She had always known that being a foster parent meant being there for her children, no matter what. And now, more than ever, she was determined to live up to that promise. The sound of Tiffany's footsteps on the stairs brought Madge back to the present. She grabbed her purse and car keys, ready to embark on this new adventure. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together as mother and daughter. As they stepped out into the warm afternoon sun, Madge felt a sense of hope and excitement for the future. This was just the beginning of Tiffany's journey, and she was honored to be a part of it. The drive to the mall was filled with animated chatter as Tiffany expressed her excitement about shopping for new clothes. Madge listened attentively, offering encouragement and support. She could see the joy radiating from Tiffany's face, a stark contrast to the withdrawn young person she had been just months ago. "So what kind of style are you thinking?" Madge asked as they pulled into the parking lot. Tiffany bit her lip, considering. "I'm not sure. I like soft things, flowy skirts maybe? And definitely more purple." Madge chuckled. "Purple it is. We'll find you some beautiful things that make you feel like yourself." As they entered the mall, Madge could sense Tiffany's nervousness. She placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Remember, you have every right to be here, trying on whatever clothes you like. If anyone gives us trouble, I'll handle it." Tiffany nodded, taking a deep breath. "Okay, let's do this." They started in a store known for its youthful, feminine styles. Madge helped Tiffany navigate the racks, pulling out items in soft fabrics and flattering cuts. They gathered an armful of clothes in various shades of purple, along with some complementary colors. In the fitting room, Tiffany's excitement was palpable. She tried on outfit after outfit, emerging each time to show Madge. With each new look, her confidence seemed to grow. "Oh, Mom, look at this one!" Tiffany exclaimed, twirling in a lavender sundress. The fabric swirled around her legs, and her face was alight with joy. Madge felt tears prick her eyes. "You look beautiful, sweetheart. Absolutely radiant." As they continued shopping, Madge noticed a few curious glances from other shoppers. She met each look with a steady gaze, daring anyone to say something negative. But mostly, people smiled or went about their business, and Madge felt a surge of gratitude for their quiet acceptance. They ended the shopping trip with several bags of new clothes, including the lavender sundress, some flowy skirts, soft sweaters, and a pair of low-heeled shoes that Tiffany had fallen in love with. As they walked back to the car, Tiffany's step had a newfound lightness. "Thank you so much, Mom," Tiffany said as they loaded the bags into the trunk. "This means more to me than I can say." Madge pulled her into a hug. "You're welcome, sweetheart. I'm so proud of you for being true to yourself." As they drove home, Madge's mind wandered to the challenges that lay ahead. There would be paperwork to file for name changes, doctors to consult about continuing hormone therapy, and undoubtedly some difficult conversations with friends and family. But looking at Tiffany's beaming face as she chatted excitedly about her new wardrobe, Madge knew it was all worth it. Back at home, Tiffany insisted on trying on all her new clothes again, putting on a fashion show for Madge in the living room. As she watched her daughter twirl and pose, Madge felt a fierce surge of protective love. She silently vowed to do everything in her power to make sure Tiffany could live her life openly and proudly. That evening, as they sat down to dinner, Madge broached the subject of next steps. "I was thinking we should make an appointment with Dr. Reeves next week," she said, referring to the endocrinologist who had been overseeing Tiffany's hormone therapy. "We should update her on the changes in your living situation and discuss continuing your treatment." Tiffany nodded, her fork pausing midway to her mouth. "That's a good idea. Do you think we could also talk to her about surgery options? For the future, I mean." Madge reached across the table, squeezing Tiffany's hand. "Of course we can, sweetheart. We'll discuss all your options and make sure you have all the information you need to make decisions about your body and your future." After dinner, as Tiffany was helping with the dishes, she suddenly turned to Madge, her eyes serious. "Mom, what about Ruth? Should I call her?" Madge sighed, setting down the plate she was drying. "I think that's up to you, honey. If you want to reach out to her, I'll support you. But don't feel like you have to if you're not ready." Tiffany nodded slowly. I think I want to write her a letter to explain how I'm feeling and why this is so important to me. Do you think that would be okay?" "I think that's a wonderful idea," Madge said, smiling encouragingly. "It'll give you a chance to express yourself fully, and it'll give Ruth time to process your words without the pressure of an immediate response." Later that night, after Tiffany had gone to bed, Madge sat at the kitchen table with a cup of tea, reflecting on the day's events. She pulled out her phone and opened her contacts, her finger hovering over Ruth's name. After a moment's hesitation, she pressed call. The phone rang several times before Ruth's hesitant voice answered. "Madge? Hi, Ruth," Madge said softly. "I hope I'm not calling too late." There was a pause before Ruth replied. "No, it's fine. Is everything okay?" Madge took a deep breath. "Yes, everything's fine. I just wanted to let you know that I told Tiffany now, about the new arrangements. She's doing okay, but it's been an emotional day." Another pause. "Tiffany," Ruth repeated, her voice thick with emotion. "It's really happening, isn't it?" "Yes, it is," Madge confirmed gently. "Ruth, I know this is hard for you, but Tiffany is still the same person we've loved and raised. She's just finally able to be her true self." She heard Ruth take a shaky breath. "I'm trying to understand, Madge. I really am. It's a lot to take in." "I know," Madge said sympathetically. "And it's okay to need time. Tiffany understands that. In fact, she's thinking about writing you a letter to explain her feelings. Would you be open to reading it?" "A letter?" Ruth's voice softened. "Yes, I think I'd like that." Madge felt a glimmer of hope. "That's good, Ruth. That's really good. And listen, I know we agreed that I'd take on full responsibility, but if you ever feel ready to be part of Tiffany's life again, in whatever capacity, the door is always open." "Thank you, Madge," Ruth said quietly, "for everything you're doing for Tiffany. I'm glad she has you." As they said their goodbyes, Madge felt a mix of emotions. She was sad for the pain Ruth was going through, but proud of her for taking this small step. And above all, she was filled with love and determination to help Tiffany navigate the journey ahead. The next morning, Madge woke early, the events of the previous day still fresh in her mind. She padded quietly to the kitchen, not wanting to wake Tiffany. As she started the coffee maker, she heard a soft creak from upstairs. A few moments later, Tiffany appeared in the doorway, wrapped in a fluffy robe, her hair tousled from sleep. "Good morning, sweetheart," Madge said warmly. Did you sleep well? Tiffany nodded, stifling a yawn. Yeah, I did. I had a dream about wearing that new sundress to a picnic in the park. It was nice. Madge smiled, pouring a cup of coffee for each of them. That sounds lovely. Maybe we can make that dream a reality soon. As they sat at the kitchen table, sipping their coffee, Madge noticed Tiffany fidgeting with the sleeve of her robe. What's on your mind, dear? She asked gently. Tiffany looked up, her eyes uncertain. I was thinking about what you said yesterday, about taking things one step at a time. I think I'm ready to start telling people. About being Tiffany, I mean. Madge reached out, covering Tiffany's hand with her own. That's a big step, sweetheart. I'm proud of you for feeling ready. Who were you thinking of telling first? Well, Tiffany said, biting her lip. I was thinking maybe we could start with Aunt Claire. She's always been so supportive, and I think she might understand. Madge nodded, smiling encouragingly. I think that's a great idea. Aunt Claire has always had a knack for seeing people for who they truly are. Would you like me to give her a call and invite her over? Tiffany's eyes lit up. Could we? Maybe for dinner tonight? Of course, Madge said, already reaching for her phone. Why don't you go get dressed, and I'll give her a call right now. As Tiffany hurried upstairs, Madge dialed her sister's number. Claire picked up on the third ring, her voice cheerful as always. Madge, what a lovely surprise to hear from you so early. Good morning, Claire, Madge replied. I hope I'm not catching you at a bad time. I was wondering if you might be free for dinner tonight. Tonight? Claire repeated. Well, let me check my calendar. Yes, I'm free. Is everything all right? It's not often you invite me over on such short notice. Madge hesitated for a moment. Everything's fine, but there have been some changes recently. Timmy, well, there's something important we'd like to share with you. In person, if that's okay. There was a brief pause before Claire responded, her voice gentle. Of course, Madge. You know I'm always here for you and Timmy. What time should I come over? They agreed on 6:30, and as Madge hung up the phone, she felt a mixture of relief and nervous anticipation. Claire had always been a pillar of support, but this was a big revelation. She hoped her sister's open-mindedness would extend to this situation as well. When Tiffany came back downstairs, now dressed in a soft purple sweater and jeans, Madge informed her that Aunt Claire would be coming for dinner. The news was met with a mixture of excitement and nervousness. What should I wear? Tiffany asked, suddenly looking uncertain. Should I dress as me? As Tiffany? Madge smiled reassuringly. Wear whatever makes you feel most comfortable and true to yourself, sweetheart. Aunt Claire loves you no matter what, and this is about you being honest about who you are. Tiffany nodded, taking a deep breath. Okay, I think I want to wear the new sundress. Is that okay? That's more than okay, Madge said, pulling her into a hug. You'll look beautiful. The rest of the day passed in a flurry of activity. Tiffany helped Madge clean the house and prepare dinner, her nervous energy manifesting in a desire to keep busy. As the afternoon wore on, Tiffany excused herself to get ready, spending more time than usual on her appearance. When she finally emerged, Madge felt her breath catch. Tiffany stood in the doorway, wearing the lavender sundress they had bought the day before. She had styled her hair softly around her face and applied a touch of makeup. But it was the look in her eyes, a mixture of vulnerability and hope, that truly struck Madge. Oh, sweetheart, Madge said, her voice thick with emotion. You look absolutely beautiful. Tiffany blushed, smoothing down the front of her dress. Do you really think so? Do you think Aunt Claire will understand? Madge crossed the room, taking Tiffany's hands in her own. I think Aunt Claire will see what I see. A beautiful, brave young woman who is finally able to be her true self. And if she doesn't understand right away, we'll help her to... The sound of a car pulling into the driveway interrupted their moment. Tiffany's eyes widened in panic. She's here! Oh, God, Mom, what if... Shh, Madge soothed, squeezing her hands. It's going to be okay. Remember, I'm right here with you. We'll do this together. The doorbell rang, and Madge gave Tiffany's hand one last reassuring squeeze before going to answer it. Claire stood on the porch, a bottle of wine in her hand and a warm smile on her face. Madge, how lovely to see you, Claire said, leaning in for a hug. As they embraced, Claire whispered, Is everything all right? You sounded a bit worried on the phone. Madge pulled back, offering a small smile. Everything's fine. Just different. Come in and we'll explain everything. As Claire stepped into the house, her eyes immediately fell on Tiffany, who was standing nervously in the living room doorway. For a moment, Claire looked confused, her gaze darting between Madge and Tiffany. Timmy? She asked hesitantly, then quickly corrected herself. I'm sorry, I'm not sure what I mean. Could someone please explain what's going on? Madge moved to stand beside Tiffany, placing a supportive hand on her back. Claire, I'd like you to meet Tiffany. This is who Timmy has always been on the inside, and now she's ready to share her true self with the world. Thanks for watching. Check out Patreon if you want to have early access to the other parts. If not, it will be online in a couple of days.